Source 100. Hey guys, and welcome to AniRecapz, presented by Anime Beta. Subscribe and like if you want more quality anime recommendations. The story starts with an horrifying event, which has become known as the Second Savage Attack. It's when monsters named Savages has started to attack mankind again. Amongst these various large-scale invasions to destroy mankind, an empire named Gutenberg faced the most destruction. It's where we meet out MC Hayato, being attacked by the monster as he tries to run away with a white-haired girl, but fails. Fast forwarding to the future, we see Hayato having that nightmare on a plane. As he exits from the plane, two girls from the school rushes to meet him, but he hides from them out of embarrassment. However, he later attracts attention at the school campus due to his high scores. There he meets fellow first-year students Fritz Granz, Laisha St. Emilion, and Emil Crossfode. As Hayato begins to feel welcomed at the school, the two girls become late to the entrance ceremony since they were looking for him. They get instantly expelled by the student council president, Claire Harvey. Emil tries to speak up, rebuffing Claire's arrogance, which pretty much angers her. However, Claire turns to Hayato instead, who musters his courage and says that he feels that the students should not be expelled. Claire then challenges him to a one-on-one duel to determine the students' fates. After the entrance ceremony, Emil takes Hayato to see her friend, the technician of the little garden, Charlotte Demandius. At her lab, she reveals herself to also be the chief researcher on hundreds. Special gems that can grant powers to humans, turning them into slayers. She gives Hayato his 100, which reacts to him almost immediately. Seeing this, Emil takes Hayato to the training grounds to train him for the upcoming duel. Later, he goes to put his luggage in his dormitory and accidentally spots Emil wearing nothing but a towel. He is then knocked out by him. He then learns that he and Emil are roommates. The duel begins early the next morning, and all of the students have gathered at the auditorium to watch. There, Liddy explains the rules. The duel will last 15 minutes and will end once one of them is knocked out, when one of their energy is used up, or when one of them is disarmed. However, as the duel begins, Hayato accidentally falls over her and grabs Claire's breasts, angering her and firing shots at him. Hayato puts up an energy barrier on Emil's command and deals a heavy shot at Claire. However, this has no effect on her as she puts up her own shield with her numerous cannons and deals the final blow. This causes Hayato to lose a lot of his energy. As he slowly rises, Claire prepares to use a buster cannon against him, shocking everyone and even the student council vice presidents. As she shoots, Hayato feels that his body has turned hot and manages to deflect Claire's blow, pushing her back with different movements, and ends up using a full-body armament, the full release of his 100 powers. In the end, he is still defeated by Claire using her full-body armament, even though she said she would not at the start of the match, as he is unable to control his powers and collapses. The match is thus declared a tie as Claire won officially, but lost to herself. Claire then cancels the expulsion of the girls. After Hayato recovers, Emil takes him to Central, the business district of the little garden, where Karen, his sister, comes to meet them to check on Hayato after the duel. She begins to suspect that Emil is a girl, but leaves it at that, rather giving her a warning. Karen has fun with Hayato and Emily, but Claire interrupts them. She wants him to join the Selections, a special unit under the council. This enables him to be a student, but also embark on missions as a slayer. Emily wants to join too, but Claire rejects her. She and Liddy haves a duel, but stop after an emergency comes up. Charlotte tells Claire to take Hayato to the emergency room. 3 savages are attacking Zwei Island. They find out one of the savages is a Trent class and its abilities are unknown. The player decides not to take Hayato on Emily because the savage is too dangerous and they have no field experience. Hayato and Charlotte convince Claire to let him help in the fight. He also reveals he lost part of his memories after a savage attack many years ago. They discusses about the plan, and everyone understands their tasks. After engaging, they struggle against the Trident-class savage. We see Claire is about to be killed, but Hayato was quick to save her. The savage then fires at them, but Claire and Hayato deflects it. Emily takes on the savage but gets injured. Hayato remembers her as the girl he saved years ago. He protects her from that strong savage. Finally reveals her true gender. Hayato activates his Bankai, a full-body armament, and loses control. But Emily brings him back with a kiss. And they defeats the savage with MC's Getsuga Tenshu. Hayato explains the battle to his sister Karen, and Claire allows Emily to continue her pretense, but she has to move out of the apartment. Emily explains how she and Hayato got infected with the savage virus and they became variants. She notes that they are extremely powerful. Emily tells him he can learn to control his powers through training and not lose himself during battle. A popular singer named Sakura asks the academy for a bodyguard due to the savage's attacks. Sakura wants Hayato to be her bodyguard and protect her during her stay on this island. Hayato tells Karen about his mission. She asks him to get an autograph from Sakura for her, as she is a big fan of her. Sakura likes Hayato and teases him about getting married to her, but Hayato shuts her plans down. Hayato accompanies her to all her public appearances. Sakura takes Hayato to the stage of her next concert and shows him her 100 fairy tales. Charlotte and Mai arrive and explain that Sakura is a field control slayer and she cannot create weapons. Hayato reports the situation to Claire, and she asks him to meet her at a summer house in the morning. 3 individuals want to execute their plans after the concert. Sakura remembers the words of her mother, stating that music has the power to make people happy. In the meantime, Hayato meets Claire at her summer house. Claire informs Hayato that a variant stone was stolen from Sakura's concert. The stone is a rare ore, and Claire believes the thieves will come back for more. Hayato promises to guard and protect Sakura. Not long after, Hayato meets Emily for their date. They hide after they spot Fritz and Leisha. They escape and continue on their date. Claire calls and informs Hayato that Sakura is missing. Sakura joins Hayato after tracking him down with a GPS. She takes him to a secret spot, and Hayato abandons his date with Emily, but explains it to her through a text. Sakura takes him to the Grand Canyon and thanks him for believing in her when she started singing. Sakura tells Hayato about her past and informs him that she was infected with an unknown virus and lost her voice. She was sold by her father to a research facility, and they injected her with a vaccine made from savage fluids. She was cured by Vitality, but the facility wanted to create variants and continued administering the vaccine, killing all the test subjects except Sakura. Hayato lets it slip that he is also a variant, and this makes Sakura happy on their way back. Sakura and Hayato are attacked by a savage. Hayato fights the savage and has to hold it off until reinforcements arrive. Sakura transforms and helps Hayato. She tells him to focus on the attack while she is defending. Hayato defeats the savage with ease, but a second savage appears and attacks them both. Fritz, Risha, and Emily join the battle. They discover it can regenerate and decide to attack its core. The savage stops attacking Hayato after responding to Sakura's voice. Hayato is attacked by a variant, and he is joined by 2 girls. When they defeat a savage, another one attacks Risha and Fritz. Hayato figures out that these are the thieves that stole the variant stone. They retreat after harvesting the savage's cores, stating they work for Vitality. When reinforcements arrive, Claire explains that the thieves are hunters. Charla explains that the core has a similar structure to that of a variable stone. This means a savage core can function as 100 if reconfigured, and this will change the power balance of a country. Claire warns them not to tell anyone. Claire considers Fritz and Risha's entries into the selection, and Hayato apologizes to Emily for their ruined date. Sakura believes her songs are not doing any good because a savage reacted to her voice, but Hayato reassures her. Hayato takes Karen to secure his concert, and Karen remembers Sakura after she performs the song she sang to Karen years back. Charlotte decides to look into Sakura's voice and find out why it affects the savages. Emily is jealous of Sakura's closeness with Hayato and confronts her about it. Claire's older brother, Judel, arrives and compliments Hayato, calling him the holder of the divine blood. He's the chosen one. Claire departs with Judel, summoning Hayato and his friends for a savage cleanup mission at Kin's empire under the supervision of the peacekeeping army. Judel shows Hayato the power source of the academy. Lisa is the first Slayer and variant created. She is also Judel and Claire's younger sister. Claire confronts Judel with a gun and asks why she told Hayato about Lisa. Judel believes Hayato can wake Lisa because he has divine blood. Hayato tries to wake her up, but he fails. Judel reveals that Vitaly is tiny enough that his crazy ex is after Lisa and he wants to stop her. Claire explains a new mission. She estimates that there are about 50 savages in the mountains near Tijuana City. Claire believes that the 3 hunters will show up, and capturing them is the main aim of the mission. In Bequin City, Claudia Lodi Emanuel's childhood friend sees Emily and reveals to Hayato that she is the princess of the Gutenberg. Emily reveals that her real name is Emily Gutenberg, and she is the 3rd princess of the family, a princess and an idol. Claudia tries to persuade Emily to return, but she refuses because of Hayato, which enrages Claudia, and she challenges him to a duel, with Emily leaving with the winner. Claudia's weapon is an iron flail, but clearly Hayato wins by destroying it with a kendo sword. Claudia joins the mission and the selection members are assigned into teams to battle the savages. As night falls, they take turns standing guard.
Hayato is the only guy here. He shouldn't be left alone with any of us. If we fight together, we can defeat any monster. We're a perfect pair.
Why won't you listen to me?
That's ridiculous. I listen to every word you say.
Ah, boy, here we go.
Claire and Hayato find the savage. Claire tries to attack it and slips. Hayato saves her, kills the savage with one hit, and they head to the lake to wash off. Claire confesses to Hayato that Lisa was infected by their mother and she was born a variant. Lisa is in a comatose state because she had released a forbidden power while protecting Claire. Claire believes she is a bad captain for putting her family first, but Hayato tells her that he does the same. Hayato receives an emergency call from Squad D and discloses that the hunters are attacking all the squads, taking their 100. The hunters also jammed the selection's communications. A player decides to help Fritz's squad. They are about to kill Liddy, but Claire arrives just in time and activates her full-body armament, saving everyone. The hunters can't match Claire, but suddenly it starts to rain. The hunters' powers are increased in the rain. The player cannot keep up with Crovan's speed and gets defeated. When Crovan is about to kill Claire, reinforcements arrive and the hunters fight with the selection members. Milia's 100 can change forms. She defeats Nakri, one of the hunters, by pinning her against the wall and sucker punching her in the gut. She also easily beats Neset, while Hayato fights Cravan. Hayato sees the hunters' memories and how they were slaves to Vitaly. Hayato activates his Chad's full-body armament. He beats Cravan easily with his Guptu retention. However, a flying savage interrupts their battle. The hunters agree to defeat the savage if they can have its core. Cravan attacks the savage, but it erects a barrier and knocks Cravan back. The hunters deactivate the jamming device, and Claire instructs all the slayers to attack the savage at long range, but the attack has no effect. Claire kisses Hayato, injecting the variant virus into her and enhancing her powers. All the slayers and hunters attack the savage, breaking its barrier, and Hayato kills it. Judel instructs Claire to transport the hunters to the academy. Hayato returns from a vacation, and Claire discloses that they found Vitaly's lab, but she was already gone and all the data had been erased. Claire reveals that the academy will be having its second Garden Festa, an event that celebrates the creation of Little Garden, and security will be handled by a joint task force of slayers. Sakura reveals she will be performing while they prepare for the festival. Hayato finds out that Karen is going to sing alongside Sakura and Judel. He wishes Karen and Sakura good luck with their performance. Vitally infiltrates the garden with the help of Wendy. During the performance, Charlotte notifies Claire that Wendy was found unconscious and her memories have been wiped. Meanwhile, bee-like machines begin to self-destruct across the garden, causing a blackout. They discover that cleaning robots are turning into these machines. Claire deduces that this is the work of Vitali. She believes Vitali is after the hunters and tries to protect them. She declares the festival over and orders the civilians to evacuate. Claire also commands the Slayers to attack the machines. The machine corrupts the garden's air security. It prevents them from detecting the crash landing of 3 airplanes carrying cordless savages named replicants. These replicants were created from savage cores and variable stones, making them immune to conventional weapons. While Claire briefs Hayato in the middle of the situation, a 4th airplane crashes into the garden's barrier. Hayato decides to fight these replicants, destroying the barrier. Vitali rescues the hunter and gives back their 100. They refuse to help her because she is harming innocent people, but she brainwashes them into doing her bidding. The selection defends the school against the replicants elsewhere. Vitali leaves with the hunters, and the hunters are headed to Lisa. Judel tells Claire that he will deal with Vitali. Mei catches up to Vitali and releases the hunters from her mind control. Vitali approaches Lisa, but encounters Judel. Vitali claims she is doing all this to get back at Judel for deceiving her. After pretending to love her, Vitali uses the machines to emit sound waves that affect only Slayers, rendering them powerless. Judel tries to persuade Vitali, but she shoots at Lisa. However, Lisa is awake and deflects the attack. Judel reveals that Sakura's voice woke Lisa up and killed Vitali. The Slayers are being overwhelmed by the replicants. Lisa heals Karen and tells Sakura to sing. Hayato attacks a Trent-class replicant, but is unable to defeat the monster. The replicants are about to kill Hayato, but the hunters arrive to save him. Krovan is injured, and Nezet loses control after absorbing the replicants' power. Charlotte reveals that Nezet will explode unless they kill her. Lisa kisses Hayato, granting him power, and asks that he save Nezet in the little garden. Hayato stops Claire from killing Nezet. He tries to reason with Nezet, but she attacks him. He finally gets through to her and saves her. Hayato and Emily decide to date and shares a moment at the rooftop. Everyone comes up and catches Hayato and Emily kissing each other. After she reveals her true identity, everyone gets shocked and all girls get jealous. Happy ending. And with that, we end our video today. Hope you guys enjoyed it.